One last friendly reminder for all delegates to please make their way to their seats. The program will begin in just a moment. Thanks. Please welcome MDP Vice Chair Imke Schessler.
Good morning, everyone, and welcome to Bangor. I am Imke Schessler, Vice Chair of the Maine Democratic Party, and I have to say, as someone who is from Bangor and I call this place home, it is great to have you here in our backyard in the Queen City here in Maine. So before we get into the business of the day, which is why we're all here, I do want to take a moment to properly welcome you all and recognize some of the people that made today possible. So I'm going to ask all of our county chairs to please join me up here on stage. Carl Wilcox. Allison Willett. Joseph Zamboni, Megan Casey, Wayne Kinney, Marcia Myers, Keith Mistrich, Bruce Bryant, Harry Sanborn, Deb Dagnan, Greg Marley, Lise Reagan, Paige Ziegler, Lisa Marin, Kathy Purdy, Jane Beckwith. Let's give them all a huge round of applause. So these are the people who made today happen. I want to say a genuine thank you to our 16 county chairs who each organized a county nominating meeting on an incredibly compressed timeline under an enormous amount of pressure, and every single one of them pulled it off with poise and a smile. And they didn't just get it done, folks. They made it their own. Every county brought its own spin to these meetings. Some gathered in performing arts centers, some in high school gymnasiums, Some held theirs virtually because there wasn't a large enough venue to fit all the folks who wanted to be involved. Great problem to have. And yes, some even gathered in barns. A special shout out to Somerset County for that one. And because of the work of these 16 county chairs, over 17,000 Mainers were able to cast a ballot to elect the delegates that are standing here before us today. And that is grassroots democracy in action, and it would not have happened without them. So I know you may all get tired of clapping, but I'm going to ask you one more time for one last major round of applause for all of these fine people who've made this day possible. And so now it is my honor to introduce the man who leads our party here in Maine with a steady hand, kindness, and determination. Please welcome the chair of the Maine Democratic Party, Charlie Dingman.
This train don't scare no gamblers. This train. Triple dealing Wall Street ramblers. This train. Well, if you catch them with their hands in deep, blast them out and then repeat. This train. Bound for glory, this train. This train don't care no lie.
Good morning. Pursuant to the call for this nominating convention issued on July 10, 2026, July 10 is when we started this, I officially call this convention to order. With a sigh of relief. Under Section 7.2 of that call, the Secretary of the Democratic State Committee serves as the Secretary of this convention, but can designate someone in her absence to serve as Secretary. Lisa Marin, Chair of the Washington County Democratic Committee, will serve as designated by Victoria Cohen, our State Committee Secretary, as Secretary for this convention. Thank you, Lisa, for serving in that role. I will now ask the Secretary to please report on the number of voting members present based on the provisional roll. July 10. We started this on July 10. Okay. We're going to do this a little differently than it says here on my script. We are going to wait for the Credentials Committee report rather than taking a provisional number to determine a quorum. So please bear with me for a moment. Yes. Thank you. Do we now have a provisional, subject to the subsequent Credentials Committee report, do we have a provisional count of the voting members present? Thank you, Lisa. I understand. Well, it's on Exhibit A, I guess. I understand the Secretary to have indicated that based on the provisional roll, a quorum is present and we may proceed. Thank you, Lisa. A quorum being present, we will proceed subject to final confirmation when the credentials report is adopted shortly. But for now, I would ask you to join me and rise and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Not just the rich. Please remain standing for the national anthem, sung by Washington County Delegate Elizabeth Nichols Goodliff.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave.
And that provisional number that I was supposed to give you earlier is 586 voting members. I would now ask the chair of the Credentials Committee to present the credentials report. The chair, pardon? Jeanette Rivard, the chair of the Credentials Committee.
Mr. Chair, the Credentials Committee has reviewed and approved by majority vote the report transmitted under Section 5.9.3 of the call, confirming the eligibility of all county delegates, county alternates, and DSC members. The committee certifies a final roll of 583 voting members entitled to be seated and moves the adoption of the credentials report.
Thank you, Jeanette. It has been moved and seconded. All those in favor, say aye. And those opposed, no. The ayes have it. The credentials report is accepted. The convention's quorum is now officially confirmed under Section 6.3 of the call. Before moving on, I want to thank the members of the Credentials Committee for their work: Jeanette Rivard, Dan Savage, Anina Breen, Martha Howell, and Ellen Grunblatt. Thank you. Good morning again. I'm going to shuffle my papers just a little bit. I have a few things I'd like to say before we go on. I want to pause first to recognize that we are meeting today in the unceded homeland of the Penobscot Nation. The Maine Democratic Party acknowledges that the Maliseet, Micmac, Passamaquoddy, and Penobscot tribal nations have long been stewards of the places where most of us live and work, and that they are entitled to recognition as distinct sovereign entities. Maine Democrats look forward to working with the Wabanaki to ensure that they enjoy all the same rights, privileges, powers, duties, and immunities as every other federally recognized tribe in this country. Thank you, Democrats. Way to acknowledge. That's fantastic. 2 weeks ago, Maine Democrats suddenly faced the challenge of choosing a replacement nominee for the United States Senate with a legal deadline of next Monday. The easy solution would have been to task a party committee with making that choice. Instead, we responded to the growing grassroots movement in our state to build power for ordinary working people. We resolved to do the best we could to provide as representative and participatory a nominating process as could be possible on such a very tight schedule. Some people, I have to say, as we worked on this, there were people who helpfully advised us that our plan was somewhere between a high wire act and a moon landing. But we knew that the easy establishment path was totally unacceptable. And thanks to our tireless, I mean, they actually are tired this morning, folks, but our incredibly hardworking and incredibly innovative staff, our intrepid county chairs, whom you've seen this morning, and a village of volunteers. Well, look around this room. Look at what Maine Democrats did. And the 17,000 Democrats who turned out in every county to elect 500 of the delegates in this room understood just what is on the line this year. We have just seen it and felt it. We've felt how extreme the Trump regime is. In Biddeford, this month, federal ICE agents summarily executed Johann Sebastian Guerrero as he was going about what should have been an ordinary day. His family is grieving, and our whole state grieves with them. Please join me in a moment of silence for Johann Sebastian Guerrero. What happened in Biddeford was not law enforcement. It is government-sponsored terror. Long before this killing, we have seen our friends and neighbors harassed, abducted, and detained. And it's all because Donald Trump and his cronies want to replace government of the people, by the people, and for the people with his oligarchy, concentrating power in the hands of the ultra-wealthy at enormous cost to all of the rest of us. Maine Democrats have a different set of values. We value community, kindness, hard work, civil rights, caring for our neighbors, and a fair opportunity to get ahead. Behind a smokescreen of violence and propaganda, Donald Trump's Republican Party has worked against all of those values, and Senator Susan Collins has been complicit in all of it. She votes to confirm judges with no regard for reproductive rights and other civil liberties. She supports taxes and policies that drive up the cost of living. She has let us down over and over and over on access to health care, on reproductive autonomy, on basic human rights, on ensuring clean air and clean water, on taking active response to climate change, and by failing to stop the reckless, needless war and random violence of this administration. For all of these reasons, we are here to nominate a candidate who will replace Susan Collins in the United States Senate. We are here to vote to nominate a candidate for the U.S. Senate who will serve as a true champion of ordinary working people and those they care for. And as if that's not enough, We desperately need that new U.S. Senator to stand up to the monumentally corrupt behavior of Donald Trump and his Republican enablers. But we need more than that. It's not enough to resist and reverse that abusive regime. The movement we are building in Maine seeks local, state, and federal governments that respond and represent the people working in our fields, forests, waters, offices, hospitals, stores, and factories, as well as everyone who depends on those workers for care and support. What excites us about this campaign and all of our hard work this year is the prospect of a society in which our labor is rewarded with opportunity, security, and hope for the future. This prospect fuels us as we choose and then support our new Senate nominee. Let me remind you also of the work that awaits after this morning. We have just 101 days remaining before the November election. So I'm going to ask you all now, after you vote and we move back out into a beautiful Maine summer afternoon, please carry with you the fantastic energy in this room and the imagination that brought us all here together, determined to protect our beautiful state and its people and to empower Maine's working people and those they care for to live full and meaningful lives. To reach those lofty but very attainable goals, our party's campaign has to reach even farther than this enormously important Senate race that brings us together today. We need a responsive, democratic state government that is essential to advancing our vision for Maine. We need Hannah Pingree as our governor. We need Maine Democrats in control of the Maine Senate and the Maine House so that they can elect an Attorney General and a Secretary of State who will protect our rights. We need Matt Dunlap. We need Shelley Pingree in the House of Representatives to join our new senator to stop the Trump regime. And after we stop the abuse of power, we need to build a new, inclusive, innovative, and representative government. Please hold all these objectives in your hearts as we complete today's task and then buckle down for the next 100 days together. Thank you. Under Section 7.3 of the call, I am appointing Wayne Kinney to serve as parliamentarian of the convention, who will advise the chair on all questions of parliamentary procedure. Moving right on from 7.3 to 7.4, I have appointed a tellers committee to count and certify the results of each ballot. The tellers committee consists of Carl Pease, Laura Fogelman, Ina Demers, Dylan Murray, and Robert Wake. Excuse me. We now proceed, I think, hold on. We now proceed to candidate presentations. The executive director has certified the following candidates as eligible for consideration under Section 8.2 of the call. Troy Jackson, and Sandra Pelletier. The order of presentations was determined by a public drawing conducted by the chair, also under that same section of the call. Determined by that drawing, Troy Jackson will speak first and Sandra Pelletier will speak second. Each certified candidate will be presented. First, one supporter of Troy Jackson may offer a nominating speech of up to 2 minutes, and Troy Jackson will then speak for up to 5 minutes. Next, one supporter of Sandra Pelletier may offer a nominating speech of up to 2 minutes, and Sandra Pelletier will then speak for up to 5 minutes. No further remarks from the floor or otherwise will be permitted following those candidate presentations, and we will then proceed with voting.
Please welcome the Honorable Charlotte Warren.
Thank you. Wow, thank you. Good morning, Democrats. I'm Charlotte Warren. I'm the former mayor of Hallowell. And I had the privilege of serving alongside Troy Jackson in the Maine legislature. But before Troy was my colleague, and long before he became my friend, he was one of my heroes. You see, I first met Troy about 20 years ago. I was working at the Maine Women's Lobby, sitting at my desk and listening to the House debate happening across the street. And then Troy stood up. He delivered a barn burner of a speech about working class Mainers. You could hear the passion in his voice. You could feel how deeply he loved the people that he served. I found myself standing alone in my office and cheering on Troy Jackson because Troy was speaking for us. He was speaking for my family. He was speaking for hardworking, blue-collar people who rarely heard their lives reflected in the halls of power. Listening to Troy that day made me think about my dad. My dad was never a fan of politics. He used to say that most politicians had no common sense and were educated way beyond their own intelligence. But I knew he would have loved Troy. When Troy finished speaking, I quickly packed up my bag, walked across the street, and chased him down outside the House chamber. I needed to meet the man I had just heard speaking with such conviction and through passion-filled tears for people like us. When I introduced myself and told Troy how much his words had moved me, he seemed genuinely surprised. He wasn't performing. He wasn't thinking about headlines or applause. He had simply stood up and spoken from the heart because he believed working people deserved someone willing to fight for them. That was Troy then, and now 20 years later, that is still Troy. And over the years, Over the years, I have watched Troy turn that passion into results. He fought to provide free school meals for Maine children, right? Yeah. He worked to lower the cost of prescription drugs. He defended abortion rights and stood with LGBTQ Mainers. And he fought to fully recognize tribal sovereignty. And as black and brown Mainers have been targeted indiscriminately by ICE, Troy has stood in the streets alongside people demanding justice. Now, I want to tell you right now that Troy and I have not always agreed. We are both very passionate people. We both fight very hard for what we believe. And yes, sometimes we've fought one another. But here is what I've learned about Troy in these moments. He listens, he works through disagreements, and when the fight is over, he gets back to work for what he believes in with the people he believes in. You never have to worry where Troy's heart is because he wears it on his sleeve. He's fiercely proud of where he came from. He carries a profound responsibility to speak for the people who've been ignored, silenced, and left behind. Troy cannot be bought by corporations or special interests. He is not in this. Troy is not in this for fancy fundraisers, the powerful friends, or flattering headlines. He is in it to fight for the logger in Allagash who cannot afford to retire, for the mother choosing between groceries and a prescription, for the young person wondering whether there's still a future for them here in Maine. And when our health care, our rights, and our livelihoods are on the line, Troy will never retreat behind carefully worded statements of concern. Right? Troy will act. For nearly 3 decades, Susan Collins has perfected the art of sounding concerned while voting against the people of Maine. She expressed concern and then voted to confirm Brett Kavanaugh, helping to put our reproductive rights in jeopardy. She expressed concern and then voted to give ICE billions more as its agents terrorized our communities, and an ICE operation took the life of our neighbor. She expressed concern as corporations grew richer, health care grew more expensive, and working families were left to carry the burden. Maine does not need another 6 years of concern. We need conviction. We need courage. We need a senator who remembers who sent him there and who will never forget which side he is on. More than 20 years ago, I walked across the street because I needed to meet the man I had just heard fighting for people like us, and today I am proud to call him my colleague. I'm honored to call him my friend, and I cannot wait to call him our United States Senator. So Democrats, please join me in welcoming the next senator from the great state of Maine, Troy Jackson!
Everybody's out there crying to be heard, and I got no fire burning in my eyes, lighting up the darkness, moving like a meteorite.
Well, good morning, Maine Democrats, brothers and sisters. Hey, before we begin, I got one question. Are you ready to do this? Hey, what a week this has been. You know, it's just been a matter of days since people across Maine made thousands of calls, sent thousands of texts, and drove hours to county meetings, stepped forward to serve as delegates. You know, you organized person by person, town by town, county by county, and today, all 16 counties have come together under one roof. And I want to thank my family, my friends that are standing with me. I want to thank every delegate, every volunteer, every union member. And every organizer and all the staff who made this convention possible. It's incredible. And I also really want to thank every candidate who stepped forward during an extraordinary moment for our party. So look, I know that people came into this process supporting different candidates, and I know many of you poured your hearts into building this movement way before I ever entered this race. But the hope that you built never belonged to any one campaign. It belongs to every Mainer who knows that health care is a human right. It belongs to every worker fighting for a union, a living wage, and a dignified retirement. And it belongs to every woman determined to control her own body and her own future. And it belongs to every LGBTQ Mainer who deserves to live and love freely. And it belongs to every person who's working more and more for less and less, while billionaires and corporations cut the line in front of them. That is the movement that we are here to carry forward. Because we're not from the left, we're not from the right, we're from the bottom, and we are rising. Jimmy. So look, I mean, you'd have to know me all my life, but I never imagined that I would stand before you asking to become Maine's nominee for the United States Senate. That was certainly something I never dreamed about when I was a kid. You know, I mean, what I did dream about and what I am proud is I am a fifth-generation logger from Allagash. And I went into the woods right after high school. All of us, I was no different. I'm nothing special, but we worked long days and long weeks with no health insurance and no benefits, and the same as today. Then we watched our jobs disappear or get depressed wages, and working people being treated like they were just disposable, just a commodity to be used up. And I didn't get involved in politics because I wanted a title. I got involved because the people that I worked beside were getting screwed. And no one in power seemed to care about that. You know, we filed complaints, we followed the rules, and we asked people in power, like Susan Collins, to listen. And they wouldn't. So we organized. We stood together, we blockaded the border, and we forced them to pay attention. And that fight taught me a lesson that I've carried with me my entire life, something I think many of you understand also. Power is never just given to working people. We have to band together and take it. And when the people in power refuse to listen, well, you have to organize. You have to stand together in solidarity together. And you have to make them listen. And that's how we took on the companies exploiting Maine loggers, and it's how we're going to take on Susan Collins. That's the heart that I carried on the blockade in '98. That's the heart that I carried into the Maine legislature. And it's the heart that I will carry into the United States Senate. I mean, this is no secret. This room knows it. But working people are getting crushed in this country. Groceries cost too damn much. Housing is out of reach. And people are literally cutting their pills in half to make them last longer. And they're skipping doctor's appointments because they can't make it any other way. Parents are working 2 or 3 jobs and still falling behind. And meanwhile, the billionaires and corporations rigging this economy keep getting richer. And Susan Collins has done every damn thing that they asked for. For nearly 30 years, Collins has told Maine that she is concerned. She was concerned while she rubber-stamped Trump's Medicaid cuts and gutted our health care. She's concerned when she cut taxes for corporations and the wealthy. Concerned when she confirmed justices who overturned Roe versus Wade. And really tragically, she was concerned when she gave ICE billions to terrorize our neighbors and murder people in the streets with no accountability. But concern does not lower the cost of groceries or gas. Concern does not keep our maternity wards and rural hospitals like down in Lincoln County open. Concern does not restore all the rights that she's taken away. Maine does not need another 6 years of concern. We need someone with courage. We need a fighter. And we need a senator who remembers exactly who sent them to Washington, which is you. So let me ask you, are you ready to make health care right? Are you ready to take on corporate greed and the billionaires trying to buy this election? Are you ready to defend workers' reproductive freedom in every community under attack? And are you ready to defeat Susan Collins? Well, then let's unite this party. Let's build the largest working class movement Maine has ever seen, and let's win this fight. I humbly ask for your vote. Thank you, and God bless.
Please welcome Troy Pelletier.
Good morning, everyone. Nice to see everybody. My name is Troy Pelletier. I'm from Caribou, Maine. I'm a nurse. I work on a day-to-day basis with patients that are addicted to drugs and alcohol. We provide them with a medication called buprenorphine. That medication helps them with the cravings that exist for drugs and alcohol. It's challenging, but that's what I do. But I'm here today to introduce my sister, Sandra Pelletier. Sandra, for anybody that doesn't know her, she's fearless, she's fierce, but she's also one of the kindest and nicest people that I've ever met in my entire lifetime. Don't mistake her kindness for weakness, because that's not really what the situation is. Sandra is a force more powerful than anyone that I've ever met in my entire lifetime. So powerful that when I got married, I actually chose her for my best man. The reason why I did is because I looked around at the people that were my choices, best friends, good men, but I thought, who has my back? Who would never let me down? And who has more balls than any man that I know? It's my sister. And for anybody that doesn't know her, you'll soon find out. She's incredible. No one was surprised when she said that she was going to enter into this race. We all thought, good for you. You deserve to be there, and you are the candidate that can beat Susan Collins. We always knew that Sandra was great, even from the time that she was a child. At kindergarten, her first day of kindergarten, and I swear that this is true, we have a picture of her getting onto the bus with a suit and briefcase. We were all thinking at that time, you know, this is kind of crazy, but she's bound for greatness. And, you know, her entire life, every organization that she ever ran for, every club, every group, anything that she ever ran for, she was the president of. And realistically, the reason for that is because people trust her. People want her as their leader. People respect her. People want to work with her because she's so powerful and cool. I'd like for you to just take a moment to help me recognize and welcome not only my best man, but my sister, Sandra Pelletier.
I'll scream loud tonight. Can you hear my voice this time? This is my fight song. Take back my life song. Prove I'm alright song. My power's turned on.
I want to thank you for the platform and the opportunity to speak to you today. And I want to thank my brother, who I love madly, and I will delete that picture from his phone so he cannot share it with you. So I grew up in Caribou, Maine, and we had a meager beginning, and we struggled like a lot of Mainers struggle. And when we got a leg up, my dad started to deliver mail even in 10 below zero weather. And when I went to Husson University in Bangor, I worked 4 jobs to create an opportunity for myself, and it taught me responsibility. What does responsibility look like? And it's not a slogan. It's standing up for the people who rely on you, who count on you, and delivering for them every single time. Today you come to this room and you have that same responsibility. I know a lot of you came supporting another candidate, and I respect that. But today, you have the freedom to make an independent choice. Today, your responsibility is to select the candidate that can beat Susan Collins, so we finally have a Democrat as our U.S. Senator. Yeah. For 30 years, Susan has won again and again and again by staying in the middle, by calling her opponents so left. She's even convinced some Democratic women that she's in the center and they could trust her. That trust has been broken. Susan's rhetoric does not align with her results. Susan Collins repeatedly sided with Donald Trump. She voted to keep the Epstein files silent. I'm with you. And she voted in Kavanaugh that overturned Roe versus Wade. There are no laws that control men's bodies, and women deserve that same dignity. She voted with Big Pharma so that medication prices could not be lowered for our seniors. She voted to increase the funding for ICE when our citizens were being gunned down in our streets. And she voted to increase federal funding and defensive arms for Iran, and did not vote to take moderate measures to hold Netanyahu accountable. But look, talking about her offenses isn't going to beat Susan Collins. What's going to beat Susan Collins is three things. Number one, we have to expose all of her claims that she never, ever stood up for. When Mainers needed her most, she turned her head the other way. It's shameful. I have spent my career shaming the powerful, and I have won again and again and again. The second thing that's going to be required to beat Susan Collins is our party needs to create a coalition. Not just Democrats. We need the independents and we need the moderates. We need to appeal to them to say a label is less important than a senator that can deliver for you. My career, I have fought. I started a healthcare company to bring the first and the only birth control that has no hormones, no systemic activity in your body. And the reason I did it is 23 million women cannot use hormones. They've had cancer. They don't want hormones in their breast milk. And young women say, why would I put something in my body every day, a drug that I don't need to save my life, when every day I suffer with side effects? And I had to fight like hell to get this drug through the FDA. And then I had to go to Washington on both sides of the aisle to get this drug covered so that women can have access to the health care they deserve. Thank you. I'm actually really proud of that, so thank you. The other thing that's going to be required, and the third and final thing, is a leader that's measured, that's calm, that knows how to behave under serious pressure. Someone who is calculated and strategic, with the heart and the head and the backbone to know how to negotiate and how to represent the Democratic Party every single time, 100% of the time. When my son was 11, I was diagnosed with aggressive breast cancer. And I had to have my breast removed. In case you couldn't tell, I say that my brain grew because my breast couldn't. Makes me feel a little bit better. Then I had to have my ovaries and my uterus and my cervix removed. I went through rounds and rounds of chemo. I lost all my hair. And I went back to work every single day on the days I wasn't in chemo. Because, thank you. And I did that because there was a lot of work that still had to be done. And I did that because, look, cancer does not discriminate. And I wanted it to be known that cancer was going to rue the day it knocked on my door. But I know how to fight. I know how to fight in my personal life. I know how to fight in my professional life. I have had to negotiate with bullies again and again and again, and I have won every single time. My superpower is reading the room, understanding my opponent, and really looking, thinking, and changing my behavior, because why talk if no one's going to listen? You have to have the ability to understand what you're up against. Susan Collins, she's a worthy opponent, but she's weak right now. And it is time. She is going to try to run the same campaign that she has always run. We have a chance to stop her. Today is an opportunity for you to select a candidate that can beat Susan Collins. It is time that we have a Democrat in that seat. And, you know, sometimes when I think about my dad delivering mail, I think it was about trust, delivering important information from neighbor to neighbor. Today, that trust is in you. The constituents of Maine are asking for your trust to pick the very best candidate that can finally beat Susan Collins. And so today, I'd like to say to you, pick me. Choose me. And together, we will have a Democratic U.S. Senator that beats Susan Collins. Thank you.
Please welcome back to the stage MDP Chair Charlie Dingman.
Hello again. We will now proceed to balloting. Voting will be by ballot, and each voting member is entitled to vote for a single candidate on each ballot. There is no proxy voting. A voting member must be personally present to cast a ballot. You must write your name and sign your name on your ballot for the ballot to count. The candidate who receives the majority of votes cast by present and voting members shall be declared the winner pursuant to Article 10 of the call. After the ballots are counted, a representative of the Tellers Committee will report the total votes for each candidate to me, and I will announce the results to this convention. Each candidate has the right to designate one observer to be present at the counting of each ballot. Will each candidate please identify their observer and send that person to the count room at this time? Thank you. Voting will now begin. Ushers will distribute ballots to each row. Please make sure you vote for only one candidate and both print and sign your name. Ushers will collect completed ballots and transmit them directly to the count room. Pardon? I'll just repeat so that you all know what's going on. The ushers will provide ballots row by row, and you need to remember to both print and sign your name on the ballot. The ushers will collect the ballots and take them directly to the count room. And I'm going to once again remind the candidates to be sure they have their observers in the count room for this process. Thank you. Hello, everyone. Just want to offer a time check. I'm hoping that we can finish voting in the next 10 minutes. And I would ask if anyone is having any difficulty or needs any help voting, please raise your hand so that we can get someone to you. And if you don't need any special assistance, just please complete the ballot as quickly as you can. Pardon? Voting is now, we'll give it 30 seconds. Voting is closing. What? Voting has closed.
Voting is now closed. Voting tabulation is underway. Please feel free to take a break, and the program will resume in 20 minutes.
I can't recall the last time that we talked about anything but looking out for cops. We got cigarette burns in the same side of our hands. We ain't friends, we're just morons. We broke skin in the same spot. But I've never seen you take a turn that wide. And I'm high enough to still care if I die. So I tried to read the thoughts that you worked overtime to start. You said fuck off, and I said nothing for a while. You know I think about you all the time, and my deep misunderstanding of your life. How bad it must have been for you back then, and how hard it was to keep it all inside. I hope you settle down, I I hope that you're not losing sleep about what's next, or about your soul and what he might do with it.
Got color in your cheeks. You ever get the fear that you can't ship, the type that sticks around like something in your teeth? There's some aces up your sleeve. No idea that you're in deep. I dreamt about you nearly every night this week. Any secrets can you keep? 'Cause there's this tune I found that makes me think of you somehow, and I play it on repeat until I fall asleep, spilling drinks on my settee. Do I wanna know if this feeling goes both ways? It's sad to see you go, sorta hoping that you'd stay. Darling, we both know that the nights are mainly made for saying things that you can't say tomorrow day. Crawling back to you, never thought of crawling when you had a few, 'cause I always do. Maybe I'm too busy being yours to fall for somebody new. I thought it through. This feeling goes both ways. It's sad to see you go, sorta hoping that you'd stay. Darling, we both know that the nights are mainly made for saying things that you can't say tomorrow day. Oh, crawling back to you, never thought of had a few, 'cause I always do. Maybe I'm too busy being yours to fall for somebody new. Now I thought it through, crawling back to you. Never thought of calling when you had a few, 'cause I always do. Maybe I'm too busy being yours to fall for somebody new. Now I thought it through, crawling back to you. Ever thought of calling when you had a few, 'cause I always do.
Didn't mean to pick a fight, but oh well, note to self, 4 pints in, you're someone else. If you can't see my mirrors, then I can't see you. So don't say you won't forgive me, 'cause you always do. At least you say you do. It's funny how when it's upside down, I push through, I just put up with you.
I just love seeing all these Democrats in one place. This is fantastic. I'm just here to give you a 10-minute warning that our program will resume in approximately 10 minutes. Thank you.
Walking tall, doing your best to make me feel small. If you can't see my mirror, then I can't see you. So don't say you won't forgive me, 'cause you always do. At least you say you do. It's funny how when it's upside down, I push through, I just put up with you. Okay, love you, bye. Okay, love you, bye. Okay, love you, bye. Oh, well, note to self, 4 pints and I'm someone else. But you're no angel, please. So could you just put up with me? If you can't see my mirror, then I can't see you. So don't say you won't forgive me, 'cause you always do. At least you say you do. It's funny how when it's upside down, I push through, I just put up with you. I just put up with you. I just put up with you. I've been stuck in my head thinking of what we meant. And if you could see me like this, I'd want you to know that just because I miss you doesn't mean I want you back. And just because I almost called don't mean I wish I had. And just because I felt like dying when you left out of the blue, it doesn't mean I wanna be with anyone like you. I'm sure fate simply played its course. I couldn't have stayed yours. I deserve much more, but I can't help from hurting. I guess I'm still learning. Just because I miss you doesn't mean I want you back. And just because I almost called don't mean I wish I had. And just because I felt like dying when you left out of the blue, it doesn't mean I wanna be with anyone like you. Just because you said it doesn't mean that it was real. And just because you're sorry now, it doesn't mean I've healed from letting you take almost all of me until you had enough. Looking back, it only means you hurt me. You hurt me just because. Looking back, it only means you hurt me. You hurt me just because. Thought I was done with this feeling. Really thought you could be him. Thought I was safe.
Please take your seats. The program is resuming momentarily.
You're all the same, yeah. It's too much to miss. You're the perfect to win.
to take it. No questions asked, no doubt in mind. But when they're mine, yeah, you react like I'm crossing a line. I'm too much to handle and just dial it back a bit. Well, I'm not having it, babe. It's too much to miss. You're the perfect win. Though I've tried to hold on. And if you knew me at all, you wouldn't try to keep me small.
A reminder for all delegates to please take their seats so that we can resume the proceedings. Thank you.
Spring into summer and the winter's gone. I try to hold on to it, but the current's too strong. Somebody finds me in the state I am. Love you like I mean it when I know I can't. Hold it against me, cool to the touch. Nobody knows what it's like to be us. Somebody finds me in the shallow end. Love you like I mean it just because I can. Bridge over water, I am jumping on. Taking a picture of all the people close to us. Head below the surface, almost never certain of the truth. I'm always forever running back to you. Running back to you. Running back to you. You're always gonna be someone that I want. We have too many years between us. If I could jump into the past, I'd only change one thing.
I have pledged that if I'm elected, I will only serve 2 terms. 12 years is long enough.
That was Susan Collins almost 30 years ago. 2 terms became 3, then 4, then 5. Now
I'm running.
she wants a 6th. It was one of the first promises Susan Collins made, but it wouldn't be the last time she told us one thing, then did another. When Donald Trump threatens our freedoms, our health care, and our democracy, Susan Collins says she's concerned.
I'm very concerned. Very concerned.
But when Trump needs her vote, Susan Collins keeps falling in line 96% of the time. She was a key backer of Trump's so-called Big Beautiful Bill that is cutting Medicaid, threatening our rural hospitals, and driving up costs for Maine families.
And tens of thousands of Mainers are now seeing double, even triple what they were previously paying for premiums.
Collins voted to give Trump's ICE billions more in funding. Now Maine communities are living in fear.
26-year-old Johann Sebastian Guerrero was killed in the shooting.
Second person in less than a week has been shot and killed by Immigration and Customs Enforcement.
And when the Senate had a chance to rein in Donald Trump's war in Iran that's driving up costs, Susan Collins voted no. Trump needed a vote for RFK Jr., who is dismantling public health protections. Collins caved. She's violated the Stock Act by failing to disclose for months 24 stock transactions worth up to $395,000.
I just wanted to ask you about your household shares in military companies, and do you think that that's a conflict of interest given your position as the chair of the Appropriations Committee?
I have no idea what you're talking about.
Super PACs supporting Susan Collins took $3 million from Epstein Associates.
Senator Susan Collins is defending her vote against the latest effort to release the Epstein files.
And Susan Collins cast a decisive vote to confirm Trump's Supreme Court justices.
I will vote to confirm Judge Kavanaugh,
who overturned Roe v. Wade, banning abortion across the country.
Which of these votes do you regret the most?
Well, I don't regret any of those votes.
No regrets. Not for the freedoms her votes helped take away. Not for the health care she's put at risk. Not for voting with Donald Trump 96% of the time.
Susan Collins, you're doing good.
Give a shout out to Susan Collins, who's doing a great job.
MAGA approves, but Mainers are the ones paying the price.
She's supporting a fascist government. She's not talking to her constituents.
Susan Collins has not held a town hall for Mainers in over 25 years.
That is who Susan Collins answers to. Not the Mainers she refuses to face. Not the families paying the price for her votes. Donald Trump, J.D. Vance, and the powerful interests that have kept her in Washington for 30 years. But Susan Collins has no power if we don't give it to her. We have the power to take it back. This is our moment to come together and to put an end to Susan Collins' 30 years in Washington. Together, we will defeat Susan Collins, take back the Senate, and build a brighter future for Maine.
Please welcome MDP Executive Director Devin Murphy Anderson.
Here we go back, this is the moment, tonight is the night, we'll fight till it's over, so we put our hands up like the ceiling can't hold us, like the ceiling can't hold us. Here we go back, this is the moment, tonight is the night, we'll fight.
What is up, Maine Democrats? Who is ready to beat Susan Collins on November 3rd? What an incredibly special day to be a Mainer, and what a great day to be a Democrat. I want to start by thanking every single delegate, every volunteer, every county committee chair, every staff member, every candidate, and every single Democrat who helped make today possible. Over the past few weeks, we have asked an incredible amount of this party. We have asked so much of you. We've asked people to adapt quickly, to organize on an unprecedented timeline, and to step up for our state and for our country, and that is exactly what every single one of you did. It is because of you that the best of our state and the best of our party, our grit, our tenacity, our kindness, our integrity, has been shining through as hope for Mainers and Americans in every single corner of our state and our country. And this has been an incredible exercise for us, that democracy, while sometimes really messy, is always, always worth fighting for. And that doing what is right, even though sometimes that's not the easiest path, doing what is right is what us Maine Democrats will choose every damn time. And that there is no amount of pressure or noise or national attention that will cause us Mainers and will cause us Democrats to stray or abandon our values. Because from the very beginning, Maine, this was our process. And when push comes to shove, what us Mainers always do is choose each other. We help each other. We support each other. We step up for each other. And it just so happens that this time that we were living out our values, we did it with the world watching, so thank you. Thank you for standing strong under pressure, for getting involved in this process, for engaging in our precious democracy, and for strengthening our party. Today belongs to you. I am so incredibly proud of what we have built together, but today is not just about looking backward. Today is also about what comes next. Because while we are gathered here today, there is a new father in our state taking on yet another job to help make ends meet. There is a grandmother who, after spending her entire life working, just lost her SNAP benefits. There is a small business struggling to survive under the crushing Trump tariffs, and there is a new Maine family who is terrified to send their babies to school and to drive to work for fear of being snatched off of our streets or murdered in broad daylight by masked federal agents that are a part of Trump's rogue police force. That new father is my little brother, a lobsterman in Harpswell. He's making the impossible decision to leave his new family behind to go offshore fishing because as us Mainers struggle, Susan Collins is getting richer. And that grandmother is my yaya, and she is losing her SNAP benefits because of Susan Collins' vote to advance Trump's budget bill. And that small business is my aunt and uncle's welding business in Cundy's Harbor that is crushed by Trump's steel tariffs that Susan Collins supported and voted for. And those immigrant parents, well, they are all of our neighbors. And they are living in fear because Susan Collins stood with Trump and voted to hand ICE a blank check to continue to fund the terrorization of our communities. They are why we are here today. Our communities and our neighbors and our families and our friends deserve better than Susan Collins. Today, we are choosing the next Democratic nominee for the United States Senate, not just simply because we had to fill a vacancy, but because Maine deserves a senator who fights for them. Someone who will prioritize working families in the same way that Susan Collins prioritizes her corporate billionaire donors. And we deserve someone who will protect our reproductive freedom, not Susan Collins, who strips it away with, her words, no regrets. And we deserve someone who believes that our democracy is worth defending like every single one of us in this room and not put it at risk by voting with Donald Trump 96% of the time. This election is about the future of our state. It is about each other. It is about the future of our country. And it is about accountability. For way too damn long, Susan Collins has promised one thing and delivered another. And time after time after time, when the stakes have been highest For us Mainers, she has chosen her donors and her corporate interests over the people she represents, which is us. And let me be very clear, this moment belongs to us. This election belongs to us. And that this opportunity before us today, in just a few minutes, we will have our Democratic nominee for the United States Senate, and from that moment on, every single one of us will have the same job. We will leave this convention as one team. We will walk out of these doors as the Maine Democratic Party that is stronger than ever. Because defeating Susan Collins is bigger than just one campaign, and it is bigger than just one person. And the world, to be clear, will continue to watch. Because this race has consequences for Americans in every single corner of our great nation. And to that we say, we're up for the task. Because as the world also now knows, us Mainers are fighters, and we lead with integrity and kindness, and our eye has never once left the ball. And that North Star is to beat Susan Collins in November. And just like you, I have watched this party over the last few weeks. I've watched us collectively step up to meet this moment. I've watched our staff and our volunteers work late into the night and around the clock and pull a lot of all-nighters. And I've watched county committees solve impossible logistical challenges. I've watched Democrats who have never been involved before raise their hand and say, how can I help this party? How can I help this state? How can I serve my country? And the people in this room and the people that are watching, what our message is to you is that this energy is real. This commitment to this race and this fight is real. The momentum is real. Our grassroots are real. And if we carry it forward from this convention into every single community across our great state, we will be unstoppable. So today, I ask everyone in this room to remember why you got involved in the first place. Because I can guarantee it wasn't because the path was guaranteed. It was because you believed that Maine deserved better. You have your own family members that matter in this moment to you, who you're fighting for. You believed that our democracy was worth fighting for. You believed that when people come together around our shared values, that we can accomplish extraordinary things together. And that is what today represents. Not the end of a process, but the beginning of real change. So, let's leave here united. Let's leave here energized. Let's leave here ready to do the work. Let's leave here ready to win. And let's finally retire Susan Collins by electing the next Democratic United States Senator from Maine. Thank you, Maine. Thank you, Democrats. Now let's go win this thing.
Please welcome back to the stage MDP Chair Charlie Dingman.
Good morning again. It's still morning. The Tellers Committee has certified the final vote to me. I have it here. And to the Secretary, pursuant to Section 10.7 of the call. The Teller Committee report is in front of me, and it has 3 lines, and I will read them from the bottom up. You should all be proud of yourselves. The number of invalid ballots is 0. Five votes were cast for Sandra Pelletier, and 566 votes for Troy Jackson. Now, if I may have your attention for a couple more minutes. I'm sorry. This is the dry part, but it's very important. As you know, between the 10th of July and today, we have had to work out a new process, and we need to take the final steps in that process right now. I want to promise you that immediately after we complete these steps, you will have another opportunity to hear from your U.S. Senate nominee. So please don't leave after the gavel. Thank you. The chair recognizes Jeanette Rivard. Jeanette Rivard, a state committee delegate, and understands that Jeanette Rivard moves the adoption of the convention report by the members of the Democratic State Committee. That report reads as follows: pursuant to the procedures set forth in the call for a nominating convention and the certified vote of the nominating convention, the Maine Democratic Party, let me read this motion correctly, Jeanette, I'm sorry. The Maine Democratic State Committee formally selects Troy Jackson as the replacement nominee for the Maine Democratic Party's candidate for U.S. Senate on the 2026 general election ballot. The Maine Democratic State Committee further authorizes and directs the chair and secretary of the Maine Democratic Party to deliver the required certificate to the Secretary of State in accordance with Title 21A of the Maine Revised Statutes, Section 363, and to take all other necessary steps to effectuate the placement on the general election ballot of the party's chosen replacement candidate. Is there a second for Ms. Rivard? It has been moved and seconded. This vote, again, is a vote to be taken only by the members of the Democratic State Committee. So those of you who have Democratic State Committee credentials and you are seated together, would ask you to use the cards that you have been given, a green card for yes and a red card for no. All those in favor of adopting the nominating convention report, which I have just read, please raise your green cards. Thank you. And those opposed, please raise your red cards. The green cards have it. The motion carries. The convention report is hereby adopted, and Troy Jackson is officially certified as the Democratic Party's nominee for United States Senator in the 2026 general election in Maine. There being no other business necessary to conduct this convention, we are now ready to adjourn. Is there a motion to adjourn? It has been moved and seconded. All those in favor say aye. Aye. And those opposed, no. This convention is adjourned. It is now my honor, and I am delighted to welcome our new Democratic U.S. Senate nominee to speak to you.
We've been robbed of so many things in this world by the people who control it. You know, I think about my sons, I think about my wife, my granddaughter who hasn't been born yet, and those things to me are everything in this world. And what little time we have is being stolen by an oligarchy who see us as nothing more than a commodity.
You know, we're seeing a movement of everyday working class people, people that have been left behind, people that don't have health insurance, people that don't have child care, people that are looking for a government that's going to fight for them.
Together, we can fix what's broken in Washington. We can pass Medicare for all. We can take on corporate power and the politicians in their pocket. We can create the future Mainers and Americans deserve. They said that a bunch of loggers could not take on the big landowners exploiting them. But we did. And they said a guy from Alleygas could not rise to the Maine Senate. And I did. And now they're going to say that a grassroots campaign powered by working people cannot defeat Susan Collins. But you know what? They're wrong. They're wrong again. We're not from the left. We're not from the right. We're from the bottom, and we're rising. And I know what happens when working people decide that they've had enough. We lock arms, we fight back, and then we win. Let's go and beat Susan Collins and send a working class fighter from the North Woods of Maine to the United States Senate.
Please welcome your Democratic nominee for United States Senate, Troy Jackson.
If I get too close, then I'm not how you was. Forget my northern attitude, oh, I was raised out in the cold. If the sun don't rise till the summertime, forget my northern attitude, oh, I was raised on the line.
Well, thank you, Maine. Thank you, brothers and sisters. And thank you to the delegates who placed their faith and their trust in me, the volunteers and the organizers who built this campaign, my family that I can't, thank enough, the people of the St. John Valley and Mercer County, and everyone who stood beside me through every fight, every step, every misstep. And thank you to every candidate who stepped forward during an extraordinary moment for the party. I spoke. Yeah. I just spoke with Sandra out back, and Sandra is all in on trying to make this happen. Yeah, and I really appreciate it. So outside of my family, my immediate family, because all of you are my family, outside of them, this is the absolute honor of my life to accept the Democratic nomination for the U.S. Senate. As you all know, this process came together faster than any of us expected. Again, the Democratic Party, Charlie, the whole staff, Devin, I mean, incredible work. But this is important. You know, the movement represented in this room did not just begin 2 weeks ago. You know, whether you supported me from the beginning, supported another candidate, or are still deciding what you think of this fifth-generation logger from Allagash, depends on who you ask. But seriously, I know, I've always known this, that your trust has to be earned. And so I want you to hear this directly from me. There is a place in this campaign for all of you. There is work for you in this movement. And I will spend every day, now through November, earning that trust. Because today, we turn the page. Today, this becomes a general election campaign. And today, we begin the work of defeating Susan Collins in November. So you all have heard this before, but I grew up in Allagash in a family of loggers, and I went to work in the woods after high school and spent years doing dangerous work for long hours and most of the time without health insurance. And again, everyone that's in that profession works hard. And we tried to take care of our families. We did follow the rules. But the harder we worked, the more that the companies took from us. And that literally was their mantra. We'll make you more productive so we can cut your rate. And the further behind that we would fall. And when we spoke up, nobody listened. You know, they wanted us, they expected us to accept that. You know, just keep your head down. You know, be grateful to little scraps that you're given. And you know, we weren't. You know, and that's why we got together and organized, and why we stood together, and why we ended up having to blockade the border. And we made them listen to the real reality of what was going on. And that fight opened my eyes. It changed my life. I mean, I went from somebody that didn't want to get out of line, was told not to get out of line, to where now I understand that you have to get out of line because the people in power are keeping us there. And so it really did teach me that working people, despite all of our challenges, are not powerless. You know, we're only made to feel powerless when we stand alone. And that is what they try and do, is divide us. And that's why I entered public life. You know, fought for working people in the legislature and in the Maine Senate. And it's why I'm running for the United States Senate today. Because the same thing that happened to us as loggers that I work beside is happening all across this state and all across this country to working people. You know, working people are in their sights all the time. You know, people are doing everything they can right and still cannot get ahead. They're working 2 or 3 jobs to survive. And this is important too. Something I've tried to talk about for the past couple months, and something I don't know if I can actually articulate, but we're losing what little time we have with our families. You know, I spend all my time trying to catch up for a life lost with my kids. And I see it, you know, with people everywhere. You know, they've made it so hard that we're always chasing something to try and put it all together, and our families suffer. You know, they always do. And you know, trying to fight for the things that make your life worth living, to me, is the greatest thing that any of us can do. Because, you know, this economy is not just about taking our money, and I really believe this. It is about taking pieces of our lives away from us. You know, they're watching the price of groceries climb while food companies report record profits. They're skipping doses of medication, canceling checkups, and seriously, and I know this very well, they're praying to God that they don't get sick because they can't afford another damn bill. And young Mainers across the state are wondering whether they'll be able to buy a home in the communities where they grew up, where they lived. And this, too, is, you know, ridiculous. But older Mainers are wondering whether their retirement that they worked their entire lives for will still be there for them. And rural communities are watching their jobs, their schools, and their hospitals disappear, and it's affecting the urban areas also. And Susan Collins keeps telling us everything is just fine. And and you know, they act like, you know, we're idiots. But, you know, we know it isn't. You know, we all have eyes. We can see what's happening. We can see our paychecks and the bills that we have. And we know that we are getting screwed. And we also know who's to blame. And I'm running to change that. So I am running to pass Medicare for all. To take on corporate price gouging and build housing that folks in the state can actually afford. And I'm running to protect Social Security and Medicare. They're not going to touch that. And give every worker the freedom to organize a union without intimidation or retaliation. And I will fight to restore abortion rights nationwide. I'm going to stand shoulder to shoulder with our LGBTQ Mainers and stand up to Donald Trump and ICE when they attack our workers, terrorize our neighbors, and threaten the freedoms generations of us fought to secure. Look, that's what all of us here in Maine deserves from the next United States Senator, and in the exact opposite of what Susan Collins has given us. Susan Collins promised she would only serve 2 terms. She made that promise in the fall of 1996. And that same fall, my father and I were watching work dry up in the logging industry. And by the next spring, we had to sell what we had to get out from under the debt. And like many people, I was just trying to figure out how to keep taking care of my family. 30 years later, Susan Collins is still in Washington. So I do have one question. Who has she served? She has served Donald Trump. She voted with him 96% of the time. She helped deliver enormous tax breaks to the corporations and the wealthy on our backs, and she voted to confirm Kavanaugh and Gorsuch, the Supreme Court justices who overturned Roe versus Wade. She has served the billionaires and corporations that fund her campaigns, and they've spent millions to keep her in Washington. And in return, she's voted for historic tax breaks for the people at the top, while working families are left paying the bill. And when Mainers needed her the most, she has served herself. You know, Collins is now worth millions, and she still refuses to support a ban on members of Congress trading stocks. I mean, that is the ultimate. Susan Collins and I both come from Aroostook County. I thought Aroostook was over here. But that is where the similarities end. Because I've always known, I know now, I'll know tomorrow exactly who I work for. After 30 years in Washington, she definitely seems that she's forgotten. For 30 years, she's told us that she's concerned. But look, concern is not courage. And what she says in Maine does not erase what she does down in Washington. So one way or the other, this November, she will answer to the people of Maine. Because this election is not going to be decided by corporate PACs, big pharma, insurance companies, or the billionaires funding Susan Collins. It will be decided in union halls and at kitchen tables. It's going to be decided out on those front porches in conversations between neighbors and communities that have been ignored or taken for granted for far too long. And it will be decided by people that have never volunteered for a campaign before. Because they know, we know it in our soul that we cannot afford 6 more years of the same thing. And that's how we, together, we will win this. You know, person by person, town by town, county by county. You know, we will welcome Democrats, Independents, Republicans who believe that working people finally deserve a fair deal. Even when we don't agree on every issue, because this movement is not from the left, it is not from the right, it's from the bottom, and we are rising! Susan wants us to believe that she is unbeatable. Here's what I have to say about that. You know, I've spent my entire life, many of you, being told that people like us are not supposed to have power. You know, they told us that a bunch of loggers could not take on the companies exploiting us. But we did. And they said a guy from Allagash could never lead the Maine Senate or stand up to the special interests. But I did. So now they will say that a grassroots campaign powered by working people cannot defeat Susan Collins and every powerful interest standing behind her. They are wrong again. Because we can together, shoulder to shoulder, we can defeat Susan Collins, and we can take back that Senate seat. And we can build a government that finally works for working Mainers, not the power brokers who write the biggest checks anymore. But look, there's never been a campaign that I won on my own. And this one, I cannot do it alone. Because this campaign, honestly, belongs to all of us. I can feel it every time I talk to somebody, the belief that there has to be a change in our government. There has to be a way that works for us. So if you've ever been ignored, underestimated, pushed around, or told that you have to wait your turn while the rich cut the line, I'm asking you to stand with us in this campaign. If you believe in your heart that health care is a right, stand with us. And if you believe that workers deserve power, stand with us. And if you believe our freedoms are worth defending, stand with us. And if you believe that Maine deserves a senator who will fight like hell for working class people, well, stand with us. We have a party to unite, we have a movement to build, and we have a senator to defeat. And together, we are going to win. I can't thank you anymore. I am so inspired by all of you. God bless you, and let's get to work winning this race.
Forgive my northern attitude. Oh, I was raised out in the cold. If the sun don't shine till the summertime, forgive my northern attitude. Oh, I was raised on little light. If I get too close, then Forgive my northern attitude. Oh, I was raised out in the cold. If the sun don't shine till the summertime, forgive my northern attitude. Oh, I was raised on little light.
I told you things that I never said. You're the golden boy and my worst regret. So I cut the cost and I limit feeling. You were all at once till the fade to black. Took your cigarettes and poems back. You were in my hands, now you're on my ceiling. Recognized at the local bar by the drunken guys and the starlit girls. They claw for pieces. Do you give a few? Do you like that? Do you freak out or get sad? Do you go home or am I reaching? Hey, wait, guess what? Yesterday I stopped and played it safe instead of walking straight to you to say stay. Never mind, okay, don't mean it. Plus you've changed, not much but just enough to throw away. Fake fantasies and games I've lost a year, it's strange. Composed 100 ways to tell you, hey, what if I took your call as more than just a call, as writing on the walls. You built this cage, lost color in my face. You're fair and I'm insane. Hallucination, shame, guilt, pain, more pain, more pain, more pain, more pain. I told you things that I never said to anybody else. I regret them, but I'll pack it up and practice leaving. You were all at once till the fades are black, till the yellow glow turned a little sad. You were in my hands, but you're good at leaving. I've been overthinking. I know it's a me thing. Close my eyes and see your face. I could stay right here for days, picturing you happy, somewhere looking at me. Wonder if it ever works, waiting on the universe. I
tell you that it's unfair. I just wanna call you home, even when I know you don't. I'm trying regardless, even when I know you won't. If I'm being honest, I care, even in the moments when you're not there. You won't ever notice that I'm so scared. I just wanna hold you close, even when it feels like such a